Habits, results, victory. To be in a constant flow of servitude to yourself and others. Here, what you provide makes your tender heart gracious and your enemies crumble. This is the 6th house in astrology. I've read a few times that the 6th house is our prarabdha karma, or the karma that we must fulfill in this lifetime, whether we like it or not. Because when you really think about it, it is our duty to be of service and useful to the world. If you really think about it, everyone is contributing something with their existence, no matter how big or small. So what happens here can be exhausting in the 6th house because it's an aversion to the 1st house, like of yourself. It's not comfortable. As humans, we're in love with stability and predictability, like knowing what's going to happen next. This house can be useful with that. It's a lesson house. Having a strongly placed 6th lord or having strong planets in the 6th house drives you to do what's absolutely necessary. Everyone has goals and wishes, but quite frankly, some of these goals and wishes don't feel necessary to people. It's not something that's driving them, that if they don't do it, you know, they'll be okay. Like, it's not something super serious for them, for the upkeep and maintenance of their life. Because we all go to work, we clock in, we make sure we're on time for that boss so we don't get written up or whatever. And we're looped into that because it's a habit that's made out of necessity. The reason why a lot of 6th house people or people with heavy Virgo energy succeed is because they're embedded with this deep necessity or drive to do something. They can add to their load. You're always going to have to do more here in the 6th house in order to find success. If you think of life as a competition, you versus the world, right? You're always going to have to put in that death blow to conquer, to overcome, to defeat. This is how you're deserving of the spot more than the next candidate. In order to be where you are, someone else has to lose out or miss out on that opportunity. It seems sinister, but you know, this is it. This is life. This is how this house is associated with enemies or thieves, as well as the decline in health or diseases. The 6th house deals with anything you have to battle off. Tapping into 6th house energy, you know, you can really take on a lot of tasks and overwork yourself. If you're running a dasha of a planet in the 6th house or your 6th lord dasha, you can put on a lot of work. You could achieve a lot because you're putting a lot of force or energy, overloading yourself into being this machine that's kind of just going, this well-oiled machine. But like I said, having that energy there, having planets there, it can lead to a lot of burnout. You know, you overwork yourself. And we're human beings, we need to rest. There's other houses in the chart, like we gotta chill. We gotta put ourselves first. Because this is the house of willing sacrifice. What are you offering with diligence to be useful? Through this sacrifice, you gain results. Results are associated with outcome Saturn, you know, what you've done over time to get that result. And Saturn is a karaka or a significator or associated with the 6th house, which is a Dusthana Bhava, 6, 8, 12. These are all houses in which you're losing something. A part of yourself in some way, shape, or form. It's uncomfortable to be in the 6th house because it does require daily sacrifice. You're having to organize your life around in order to compete here. Exercise regimen, 6th house. Anything that's effort-based is 6th house. So working out, having that as a part of your routine, like no one can take you out of that, even if they tried. Like, it's something that you need to do, otherwise you feel like you're not living your life. This is the 2nd Artha house. Artha is associated with material pleasures, okay? What you physically have to do is here in the 6th house. There's logic here, but schematics and planning, but something that you're doing, you're moving towards to get a result. Having a plan and sticking to it, the more you devote to this energy, the more opportunities you can have, the more you transform your life path. Why? Why are you transforming your life path? By having a plan and sticking to it. Well, in derivative astrology, the 1st house is 8th from the 6th house. 8th house is the house of transformation, power, depth. The more you stick to that routine, the more you prioritize healing, the more you transform your life and become a powerhouse. Watch my 8th house video on more information on the 8th house. And then if you think about Bhavam, 6 from the 6 is the 11th house of gains. You're transforming your life path by tapping into this 6th house, but you're also putting to action the 11th house. Because 6 from the 6, your strong 6th house, you're going to get gain. You're going to get something. You're going to get fruition, wishes, income. Okay? That's why the 6th house has to do with employees, work, not your career necessarily, but work that you have to do. The habitual nature of the 6th house isn't only that of beneficial doing. This is a Dastana house, like I said, a karmic house. You can form habits that are unhealthy here, and you'll have to train yourself to unlearn and disengage from those habits. Even most of the time what works is replacing a habit with another habit. That's what I've seen. Some people that are struggling with any substance abuse, I've seen them replace one habit, that habit, with another habit, like people who smoke cigarettes, you know, chewing more gum or eating chips or whatever. And if you replace that habit for an extended period of time, you get a result. So what does discipline offer? It offers freedom. It's so hard and it's so uncomfortable because it's always easier to just stay the same, but discipline offers that freedom, that next step, some elevation. And freedom, not like, oh my God, I don't have to do anything at all. No, but freedom from the current state of being, okay? It offers you a different way of living and receiving. Once you master this discipline, you're able to be in a constant flow. You are never enjoying too much or working too much. You can get balance. For example, Will Smith, he has chart lord Venus in Libra in his 6th house along with his moon. And ever since he came out, he's been working. He hasn't really stopped. He's in a flow. No matter what the news outlets say or what gossip surrounds his life, he's always working. And he has a Mercury-Venus conjunction as well, which I've always talked about is amazing for business. Not to mention he's a Virgo sun as well. But having that heavy 6th house energy is what makes him a warrior in his career. However, at some point he was forced to fall back a little bit. That time he slapped Chris Rock, where the sun was directly on his Rahu in his 11th house, okay? He was forced to experience that kind of loss. You know, Pisces deals with loss. Whitney Houston had Sun and Venus in the 6th house in Cancer, being ruled by the moon. She was very impressionable throughout her career. Yes, she had diligence and skill to be mesmerizing force in her music, but she ended up picking up the wrong habits. The Venus in the 6th house, you really have to pay attention to your relationships, to people, to places. Sometimes people you're in a relationship with can be your op, you know, can be some pleasures that you might have, can be your worst nightmare. If you channel that to improving the quality of your life and focusing on your health and maybe your creativity as well with Venus in the 6th, you can turn that. Venus does associate or rule indulgences, so you're going in. You're indulging in something, you're taking something in, but you have to always remember to somehow put something out consistently and of quality. Jennifer Lawrence, okay, also has chart lord in the 6th house. It's Mars and Aries. She got a Scorpio Lagna. Ever since she's been on the big screen, she's been working, okay, working. And she didn't just get her big fame and then retreat. No, she kept going, and that's why she set herself apart from her peers as an actress. My favorite habit that she has is that she isn't on social media. She doesn't have time to keep up in that sense. So she has more room and mental space to do her work and rest instead of parading online for the world to see. Maybe this will change. I don't know. Maybe she'll open her account next year. I don't know. But she's in her bag right now. Right now she's done amazing work, because whatever movie she associates with, it's always got a good storyline and all that. Malefics in the 6th house will do great for the most part. It's that cutting and binding tamasic energy that allows one to leave the mind and move the body. So no overthinking, no over contemplating, no over, you know, once you find something that fits, you go. And then things will improve over time the more you do it. That's called practice. That's called mastery, getting better. Mars in the 6th natives, Drake, Jay-Z, Audrey Hepburn, The Weeknd. They are very passionate about their work and they drive. Especially Drake, you know, he's always on the scene. Or like Lady Gaga, who has Saturn in the 6th house in Scorpio. Scorpio energy always comes with crisis though. Scorpio energy is very, it's actually similar to Virgo energy if you think about it. Look at the symbols. But Virgo energy is able to flow a little bit more. It's not as extreme as Scorpio energy, which is like black or white almost. It's like this or that. Extreme. Lady Gaga with her Scorpio Saturn in the 6th house, she hurt her hip dancing in 10-inch stilettos on tour, touring around the world during the Born This Way tour. She felt it, and she talks about it in interviews how she felt it, but she still pushed through the performance because her pain tolerance is through the roof. And I've talked about this before on Twitter, that if you have a lot of 6th house, 8th house, 12th house influence, you do have a strong pain tolerance because of the karmic significations of this house. 6th house being the house of battles, you can see why a lot of politicians have 6th house energy. Obama has his 10th lord, Venus in the 6th, in Adra Nakshatra. Rahu Nakshatra are for the people. Stay tuned. We'll explore that later. He became the first black president of the United States, still a people's favorite in presidency, but I attribute that to him being Rohini moon, just like John F. Kennedy having Rohini sun. I digress. Hillary Clinton, Venus, Mercury, Sun in Libra in the 6th, striving to be the first female president. You know, 6th house energy inspires you to have that fight. And I've been doing a series on Patreon about the art of each planet. The art of being unforgettable is a Martian art, and Mars is associated with the 6th house because it loves being there, because it's Deha Karaka, or associated with the body, like being able to move, be useful. The art of formation is Saturn's art, and Saturn is also associated with this house. This is the art of, you know, having things stay solid for a while, and to serve a purpose. And the art of being unforgettable is making that lasting impression. If you're looking at this for yourself, you first want to look at where your 6th lord is posited. Like, where is it at in your chart? And how many places from the 6th house is it? You have to first embody the nature of that house that it's placed in relentlessly, like, especially if you don't have 6th house placements. So because the focus of your 6th house, the activity, the charge is going to be in that house where your 6th lord is sitting. 6th lord in the 3rd, you need to be expressive. You need to be courageous. Unafraid to be seen, because it is 10th from the 6th house. Unafraid to be seen for your 6th house things. Okay, you have to be studious and known for your findings. Getting everything together in your head, formulating a plan, communicate in an effective way to communicate that plan or whatever it is you've learned. That's the 3rd house. It's the house of courage and the house of expression. 6th lord in the 5th, you have to tap into your creations and hobbies a lot. Okay, maybe daily, you're not doing them daily, but at least you're contemplating it. Or you have a plan in which you are doing so weekly or whatever, in a flow. You're in a flow of tapping into your 5th house. 5th house is also knowledge, so learning about something as well. So this is the house of speculation. But isolation and spending periods of time alone can help you strengthen the 6th house, because it is 12th from the 6th. If you have 6th lord in the 5th, it's 12th from the 6th. 12th house has to do with loss, isolation, those types of things. So 6th lord in the 10th, you have to be super realistic about your work and legacy. Luckily, it's trining the 10th, so it's going to be giving information to that house regardless. And that's the other art, that house. You can't take shortcuts though with that placement, and the long way is actually the best way. Follow systems that are already in place. 10th house being 5th from the 6th might require some education or creative way of getting there. You can be known for your habits and health pursuits or your ability to conquer. 6th lord in the 1st, who has this? Beyonce has this naturally. You embody the need for hard work and dedication. You operate from a place of sacrifice, and this changes your life path. Like I said, 1st house being 8th from the 6th. The 6th house ruled by a planet like Mars or Saturn, and having those influence there. Pay attention to your diet. Maybe with Saturn especially, having a vegetarian diet sometimes. The planet ruling your 6th house will tell you what supports the activation of that house. For example, if you have Jupiter ruling your 6th house, a spiritual practice or religion will support, maybe in prayer, involving spirituality in your life daily. Mercury, improving skill set, having plans, order, writing things down, involving other people. Venus, enhancing your beauty, your self-care, putting into oneself, changing appearance. buying quality items or having your finances in order, having a plan for those things. And then moon in the 6th can be quite fickle about 6th house things. Like they flip-flop between loving and needing to be useful and of service to others to hating it. Okay, they hate how they sometimes can feel used or overwhelmed with this energy. It can be sensitive to others with this placement, the 6th house moon, because the moon is your needs. So you need things to be in order or in a specific way to operate at your best mental capacity. However, with life, things don't always go the way it's planned, which is why moon in the 6th house has to learn to adapt even if they don't feel ready. Getting involved in healing others, serving others is also what helps here. And then since it's a luminary, any luminaries, pay attention to your vitality, your health. Okay, there might be certain things you need to take, or certain, because it is a Dustana, certain habits that you need or people you need to talk to, therapy, something like that. Overall, servitude. Everyone here matters. Everyone's effort matters. Here in the 6th house, it doesn't matter how you feel. It's about what you do. The objective is to gain results and maintain these results, because this is the house of maintenance. I love this house. I think that it's a misunderstood house, especially in today's world where, you know, we're tapping into a lot of habits that we shouldn't be okay with, and just having the guts to go and conquer and achieve and prove people wrong and get a result, that's 6th house. So strengthening the 6th house can help you transform your life. Let's get into that bag. Especially since Ketu is in Sidereal Virgo as I'm making this video. But it'll be good. Thanks for watching.